Morning all, how are we doing? Happy non-farm payroll day. Another non-farm exciting afternoon ahead. Crappy morning, but exciting afternoon. Morning Ellie, morning Jane, morning Stevie, morning Ladder. Just a quick recap of yesterday. Did 2% yesterday, very good day. Sitting in profit at the moment on the other stuff with trailers on oil and euro yen, so that's all locked in. Hopefully we get another push down on pound US. Morning Diamond. So yesterday closed out some pound US, put this one in the Telegram group. I did some drawdown control on this one. So this position here, why's my pen not working? Hello, pen. Oh, what the hell? Epic Pen's not working for some reason. Why is it drawing over there? What? Sorry, one sec. What the hell? Okay. Oh, sorry. Pen was working. So that one there, I closed out fully on Wednesday using the drawdown control from these positions here. This one was a 0.3. I closed it down to a 0.1 rather. I took a 0.2 off of it yesterday using the profits from that position there. So I took 115 and 85 profit, and I took a 93 loss with a 0.2 off of that. So that's another drawdown control done on this one, and it's virtually in profit now. DAX yesterday was the 6th, wasn't it? Yeah. So DAX, I closed a couple of positions out. I don't know what I did on the DAX yesterday. This lot, whatever this lot is. That's a 5th. What did I close on the DAX yesterday? Oh, those two, yeah. So that one there from the New York session on Wednesday, added to it as we broke down and took it off as we got stuck into this accumulation here. Which we then eventually broke. I tried to get into another position on it yesterday as we got that move started towards the downside. I was looking for a break to hold of this low. We didn't manage to break and hold, so I put a break-even stop on it and got stopped out. And this morning it started to go. So I'm looking to add to the DAX this morning. One more short attempt. Basically just trying to get this run. Just couldn't get it. This run down to the lows. So I've got a sell stop towards the lows today. We've got 5 minutes to the open. So the play is still the gap fill, which is here. So that's the high of, where are we? Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So that's Monday's high. And that's the actual close on Monday. And obviously that's the gap. That's where we opened up. So looking for a fill down to at least there, which is where I got my TP. So that's the plan this morning. 0.25% initial position, and if we get that triggered, I'll add to it. Or if we push up this morning initially, and I can get in a short, then this will be the add. But looking to tighten down. Now I'm running this trade on the funded account as well. Morning Themba, morning Minpo. So yeah, that was yesterday. Euro yen, Euro Swiss short is in profit at the moment. Didn't go anywhere yesterday, so obviously took the position up here. Didn't go anywhere yesterday, and we're starting to look weak with the euro this morning. So hopefully that will get that low broken, and we can get a run down into this propulsion gap, which is what I'm targeting. And euro yen, I've got a trailing stop running on this, which is 330 pips, I think. 30 or 40 pips. So I've got 40 pip trailer running on that. That will just stop me out and get me out of that completely. And oil. I put this in the Telegram group yesterday. I'm not very happy with this oil position. I'm a bit late, I think, on oil. If you look at this from larger time frame, this is exactly where I take a short normally, obviously. So I got in here and we were already extended on the 4 hour. So when I took the trade, I was a little bit like, do I want to be in this? And basically we've had 4 up days on the trot. I get the feeling we're going to want to pull back at least into this propulsion gap and then rally from there. But we might not do. There's lots of positive news on oil, but we're on a 4-day rally. So and we had a 2-day rest, 4-day rally. We're coming up to resistance. I just get the feeling I'm gonna stop out on it. So I'm just break evening in this one. I think I might have just been triggered on that DAX. Yeah, short DAX. So that's oil, and I've got the pound US dollar short. Still, oops, wrong one. So I've got an ad. So I've got that little orphaned 0.1 down there. I've got a 0.5 on there. I've taken a 0.3. The EA is running on this, so the EA has taken a 0.3 for me this morning, which was a 5-hour reversal alert. 5-minute reversal alert this morning here. So the EA got me in on that reversal alert. Retest. And nice drop this morning. So we still need to break the lows of Asia this morning on this. So we will see if we get that Asian low broken. Got a good chance of a run down into propulsion today. And that will be where I will take it all off. In fact, I'm going to set that up. There. Oops. So I'm going to exit the whole thing if we can get down into that propulsion gap. So that's me. DAX is just triggered, as I say. It's just 0.25% risk this morning on this one. I just want to see if it's going to go. It's either going to go this morning. It's just going to tumble, or we're going to go into an accumulation this morning. But we've had this lovely big propulsion move this morning. We gapped down ever so slightly. Came back up straight away, filled that gap, and the market was like sold off immediately. So we've got 1 minute to go to market open. So we've pushed back up into this propulsion gap, and the sellers have looks like they've stomped back in. So I've got a feeling this stops in a little bit of the wrong place. I'm not going to move it, but I'm just looking for the sellers to just come in and get the opening cash balance short and go from there. So we'll see. It's just open now. Let's see where we go. We've got a fair bit of travel to do, but we can do this in an hour. So we'll see what happens. Just watch. So looking at the daily, the DAX yesterday we gapped up. We rejected the highs. We pulled back down. We didn't manage to close below the lows of the previous day. Maybe we did just about. I mean, it's touch and go. We're basically at the lows of the previous day. So today, what I'm looking for is that. But potentially, this to be the pullback for the next leg down. Remember, I said, looking at the daily, we get these big, strong pullbacks above the 72, but on the way to them, we get these little 3-4 day pullbacks. Yeah, that's what we got at the moment. So I'm expecting this kind of pullback here to be this, and then next leg start. So running for the lows basically next, but it could well just be a deeper pullback, which we are also due. So you just don't know which it's going to be. It's either going to be one of them, or it's going to be one of them. But obviously we are still in a massive bear market, and no reason why we shouldn't be. So that's the play. So we've got the target. It's whether or not they can just do it today and get it done. But doesn't look like it at the moment. Rejecting the lows. Morning, Steve. Grey Spain this morning, not sunny Spain. I closed my oil position out yesterday, waiting for a pullback to build another position. Yeah, oil, if you look at it on the daily, we're well extended. Exhaustion. We will get a pullback on this, I think, but it could just be a small inside bar pullback. And then a continuation, push to the upside. So difficult to tell. But equally, we could just go. OPEC. We've got lots of news out of oil. It's all positive. It's all positive for oil. So we could well just go. Just talking about news. There was a little bit of Japanese news overnight. Same information as normal coming out of Japan. It's all talk. Morning, Patel. I'm going to call you because I can't say. Oh yes, I can. Vijay Kumar. There you go. I'm useless for names. It's the same old stuff coming out of Japan, but no strength. So Kishida said, Japan's intervention last month represented the belief that we cannot turn a blind eye to speculative Forex moves. You haven't done anything about it since then. I will not comment on the outlook of FX moves. Recent abrupt one-sided yen movement is undesirable. Basically, it's just talk, no action. And this is what we keep getting out of Japan. So I'm still very, very undecided on this yen. I really am. I don't know what to do with it at the moment. Hence me having a trading stop running on the euro yen. But anyway, apart from that, there was a little bit more talk of war, more bearish sentiment coming out of the US yesterday. There will be no rate cuts next year. So they're confirming that they will only be putting rates up next year or not changing them, not coming down. More persistence in inflation, i.e. we haven't quite got on top of this yet. The rates need to go up at a faster rate than normal, which is bearish. Fed's mandate is currently focused on inflation. We're not receiving the break of an inflation that we expected to see, so the rate hikes we've had so far don't seem to be having the impact. That's not going to please the market. Monetary policy can and must stay aggressively employed to reduce inflation. Anticipate further rate increases until early next year, set for below-trend growth in the second half of 2022. All bearish. Everything is like we're not doing very well in the US. So that's what we got coming out of there. And we had the Kremlin saying that Zelensky's basically invading Russia. Off their heads. Anyway, so it's all not particularly good news US-wise, but the US pairs so far in Asia this morning don't appear to have really done a lot. There's no drop and no hike. So interesting what will happen today. So which brings us on to today. Obviously, it's non-farm payroll day. So what we tend to get on a non-farm payroll day in the mornings is usually some kind of range-bound activity. Sometimes very tight, sometimes very wide. It depends whether or not there's liquidity that they can run at the highs or the lows to quickly grab some money ahead of non-farm to get positioned ready to move it. So that's 1:30. I'll come on at 1:30. We'll watch non-farm payroll. I might try and scalp it on the funded account. So I'll do another stream at 1:30 when non-farm's on, and we'll play with that this afternoon and see what happens. But with all the news and the sentiment that came out yesterday, it seems that they were trying to push the dollar down. And obviously the dollar's had a pretty good run. So there is a chance that we might see some negative movement today. But figures for the US dollar that we had on Wednesday were all positive. So the PMIs and the non-farm on Wednesday were positive. So obviously, whether that number comes out as a plus or a minus has absolutely nothing to do with the way that price moves. Price will go where the market needs it to go, depending on how their book's balanced. So it really doesn't matter whether it comes out green or red. But we'll see what happens this afternoon on that. We've also got the CAD unemployment figures. CAD has been particularly bullish. It's all good news for the CAD. Where was it? It was yesterday afternoon, wasn't it? Here we go. Macklem. So Macklem, basically, interest rates may have a bit more traction due to high levels, blah, 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 blah. But basically, the Bank of Canada, they seem to have got on top of inflation a lot faster than everybody else. Interest rates will still continue to rise because it's not, even when you start to see that curve with inflation flattening, you've still got to get on top of it to get it moving down. It's when it starts to move down that they start to think about not increasing interest rates. So I'm just going to get stopped out of DAX. I'm already stopped out of DAX. So it didn't work, that one. Yeah, Canada basically, I think it's very, very bullish at the minute. So I think I need a long stance on the CAD at the minute, just based on what's coming out of Canada's mouth at the minute, which is basically inflation seems to be doing not quite, it's not going up as much as we thought it was. Interest rates are having an impact. We're still going to continue to increase interest rates. So by increasing interest rates when inflation is flattened, the next move for inflation will be very quickly down. So what they will do is they will be able to stop their interest rate rises faster than everybody else, which will make their currency strong. So yeah, bullish CAD. So that's the overnight news. So if we get decent figures coming out on employment for the Canadian dollar this afternoon, we could have some really good strong movement on that. So anybody that's got any CAD positions on, you might have a good afternoon if you're long on it, obviously. If you're short on it, maybe not. Morning, David. DMDS, when doing third position with one ADR distance between positions, aiming for half ADR TP from the latest position is not getting a net profit for the position. What? Why would you target half an ADR for the position? I think you're doing it wrong. So if you take three positions, yeah, if you take a position short and you're targeting half an ADR and price moves against you, you take a second position, yeah, and then you target half an ADR on the position, not the trade. You take a third position, your average is there, yeah, target half an ADR in profit on the total position. So all three together, total position has to be half an ADR in profit. You can't take half an ADR target on each position, because if you did that, if you got in there and let's say these are one ADR apart and you're taking a short there which goes into drawdown, if you take this position off at half an ADR and make a profit on it, and then price pushes up again, and then you take this position at half an ADR and take a profit on it, you're never going to get out of this position, are you? Yeah, the idea of position trading, have I got one? Yeah, let's look at the pound US. The idea is you enter multiple positions. So I entered a position there, I entered a position there, I entered a position there, and you take them off when they all get into profit. Yeah. I think you maybe need to go and rewatch the Boocamp, if I've understood your question, which I might not have done. The Bank of Japan are going to have to put their money where their mouth is soon. It's like playing a game of poker with them. They are the biggest bluffers. The market will keep testing their resolve. Yeah. So, I mean, this is still, we had a good, fairly strong yen yesterday, obviously, as you can see. A lot of stuff came down against the yen yesterday. But, you know, it's not yesterday was a nice, big, strong day. But there's nothing coming out of Japan to actually say, they actually said yesterday, Kishida said yesterday, I'm not going to tell you what we're doing. Where was their news yesterday? Yeah, wasn't it? There was one, I don't know, there was one comment I saw which said, anyways, look, I refuse to comment on FX intervention transactions. We're not going to tell you what we did. It's like, well, if you're not going to tell us what you did, and obviously market reacted negatively after you did it, why would you possibly expect us to want to buy the yen? Because basically what you're saying is, I've got no idea what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell you what we thought we did, because what we thought we did didn't have the impact we thought we did. It's basically all confusion, and it's like smoke screens all the time. It's all you get coming out of Japan. They're stuffed. They're totally stuffed. They've been buying their deflated currency for such a long time now. Their coffers are empty and they just can't do anything about it. Even their intervention has got no strength. So I'm really not convinced that we're going to get any strength on it at the moment. So I'm really just don't know which way to go with the yen. So I might leave it on the sidelines for a little bit. DAX is pushing up at the minute, which is very annoying. So we're just coming up to retest this accumulation break here. It's tested and held twice. So let's see if we can get some price action up there. I don't want to push this. When you've got a bias on something because of a particular reason, like a gap fill, it's very dangerous to continually try and short it, because if the market wants to push higher, and we are going to do a deep pullback above the 72, I'm basically just shorting into a rocket. So a couple of attempts when you see price action, if that doesn't work, you have to admit you're wrong and flip long. You've got to do what the market's telling you. The market's telling me at the moment it's strong, wants to go long. I've still got conviction we're going to come down to here, but we might not come down to here until we've broken the 72. We might be looking at coming back down to here maybe 2 to 3 weeks time. So I can't just suddenly keep hitting the short button on it, because you're just going to wreck your account. So, but I'm curious to see if this resistance holds, where we've piled in short here to drive it down yesterday. We had 2 attempts by the buyers to correct it, which they failed at. So if we get a rejection at this level, it may well be where we're going to start the push from. But the opening cash balance was long as well. So we've done nothing but open long, break long, continue long. There's a lot of buyers out there. We'll see. I'll try another one up there. Right, so ADRs, nothing. There was a lot of ADR hits yesterday. We had quite a lot of DMDS, by the way. Just if that explanation I just didn't make sense, or that wasn't your question, just let me know. So we had a lot of ADR hits yesterday. Nothing so far this morning. Weeklies, obviously, no point taking any notice of those because it's non-farm payroll day and it's the end of the week. Nothing's hit its monthly ranges as yet, but the monthly ranges are very expanded at the moment because of the price action that we've had on a lot of pairs. So I'll be very surprised if we get to the monthlies very, very quickly. So I wouldn't. When we do start to hit those, it's time to start paying attention. But at the moment, there's no ADRs. I'll go through. There's nothing on the 4 hour, no 4 hour extensions. There wasn't yesterday. It's flat at the moment. It's coming into non-farm payroll. You don't get a lot of movement a lot of the time, so there's no extensions to look at there. There's nothing to look at on the hourly 21s either. The only thing we've got is a couple of 14s to look at. So I'll have a quick whiz through all pairs this morning, because there's nothing specific to look at on the dashboards, because it's a little bit flat at the minute. I'm just watching the DAX on my other monitor. We have just rejected that high. Still got another 2.5 minutes left on this candle. So I'm just going to see how this candle closes. I'm just toying with the idea of sticking an entry there. My platform's just frozen. Keep getting this with Robo at the moment. They're really bad. I'm just watching my E8 funded account screen. We're just hovering around this low at the minute. We just keep munching into this low and getting rejected constantly. So there's buyers buying up this low at the minute. We just pushed up to there now. Looks bullish to me. I don't really want to take it long. So if this does break that high, I'm not really interested today. Not ahead of non-farm, because there's every opportunity we're just going to go into a horrible wide range and just get chewed to pieces this morning. So just be very careful if you're trying to scalp this morning. "50 seconds. I have seen your question, DMDS. I'll answer that in a sec. Basically looking for a bearish close. 30 seconds. If not, I think this is a long. We're going to come up and test yesterday's high, which isn't actually far away anyway. So that's not yesterday's high. That's yesterday's high, which is basically where we opened, wasn't it? So we had a down day yesterday. So we're going to test along the way, basically. So that candle's closed. It's not bearish. I reckon this is bullish this morning, but I'm not going to long it. I'm not long in the DAX at the moment. I'm going to have one more go at this on a break of this candle low. Just in case, if we get basically this candlestick pattern here, we've got a push, not an inside bar, but a bearish inside close. If this candle closes bearish below this low here, these two candles together will have completely engulfed that last bull move, which could be start of a bearish reversal out of this resistance. Remember I said this is the area that I would look for them to reject at. They have rejected at it. This candle here is the most important one. If the bulls win this, they're off. If the bears win this, i.e. they start adding to this area, then we've got every chance of getting a downward move. But the move today could well just be that. So we just muck about with the opening range low and we'll form a range moving forward ahead of non-farm payroll. So, but obviously there is a possibility of that drop still. So there's quite a bit of bearish price action. It's really tough fight going on here at the moment. But if this low goes, I would expect that low to go, and it's whether or not there's enough buyers to keep this long. Just going to go in with 0.5%. Short. Just going 0.5% on the funded account short as well. Right, so we'll see what happens with that. When price action gives signal to enter new trades or adding positions, but there is some important news coming, do you wait to enter trades after the news is out, or just take the trades right away? It depends on, if I'm scalping, no, I won't scalp ahead of news, no. Because you're highly likely to get whipsawed out and just stopped out. If I'm position trading, it doesn't matter, does it? Because I'm trading the 4-hour chart. So, you know, if I'm in a position short on the DAX and there's news coming out, I'm not using stops, am I, with position trading? So it doesn't matter. News can do whatever it likes. If they want to whipsaw the crap out of it on non-farm payroll and do that and then return back to where they were, it doesn't affect me, does it? Because I haven't got a stop that's going to get taken. If you're scalping with a stop, yeah, you're just going to get smashed on news. Unless you get one of those news events where it literally, from the second the news comes out, it just goes vroom, vroom. Yeah, that's fine. But most news does that first before it starts its direction, doesn't it? Which is the whipsaw, which is what takes all the news traders out, which is why news trading is just pointless, because you will get killed and you'll likely get slipped. Yeah, if I got a stop there, we had this on my Swiss yen trade. I had a stop there. We had a news event that slipped me up to there. I lost over $500 on one trade where I had a $200 risk on it because I got slippage. So yeah, trading in news is just suicide, just nuts. Ahead of news, once the news is out, yeah, so news comes out and it goes like that, pulls back and then goes like that, enter there, yeah, no problem, because you're entering on price action after the news has happened. But you know, you look at the spreads when the news comes out, yeah, you'll spread like that on something that normally spreads like that, especially non-farm payroll. So yeah, news trading is just nuts. There's people out there that make money out of selling courses on how to trade the news, and they're just gambling. Literally, it's just gambling. You've got as much chance of going into a casino and making money as you have trading news successfully, long term. Short term, yeah, I mean, you might have a run of 3 or 4, which will work out brilliantly, and you risk 1% on each and make 5%, 10% on each. Brilliant. But you'll blow your account within months if you keep trying to do it, because you will get slipped and stopped more than you will win. Just the way it, you know, that's what news is all about. It's volatility. It's the banks, yeah, going, right, we know there's X million there. We know there's X million there. Yeah. So when the news comes out, we can spread up to there. So we can slip the market up to there very quickly and grab all that money. And then we'll take it down to there. Everybody will enter short, put their stops up there. So we'll come back up and grab their stops. And then we'll come back down here, see what the book's like. And then we'll take it the direction we need to go. Sorry, that looks like a spider's web, but that's what happens, and that's what the banks do. That's their job. Their job, the market maker's job, is to come and grab all of your money and run off with it in one direction and make the bank a load of money. That's his remit in life. His job description says your job is to manipulate price to build a book to make some money. That's what he does. And he does it with all your cash. And if you trade the news, it's exactly what he's going to do. So yeah, I wouldn't. But there is arguments for it. You can do it. But if you're going to do it, don't moan when you get slipped. Yeah, we have people. Last time I got slipped, someone else got slipped, and they went off and moaned to their broker. Oh, you didn't get the price I wanted. It's like the broker just turns around and goes, "Well, no, you didn't, because the market price wasn't there. Sorry, we filled you as per your contract at the closest price we could. Just happened to be $300 different to what you wanted. Sorry about that. Read your contract. You've basically signed an agreement with your broker for him to take all of your money at his whim. If you actually read it. But anyway, we're not going into brokers again. Right, DAX. So DAX long-term view obviously is down. We're in a bear market. All indices long-term view is down. Whether or not we are now starting next leg, i.e. this is the short pullback for the next leg, or whether we're starting a larger pullback, don't know. A lot of people have gone long on this bounce. A lot of people have gone long. Yeah, there's a lot of market participants now long because there's been a double bottom bounce. Everybody technically is long, aren't they? I mean, short on the DAX. So the question is today with non-farm, what is the market going to do? Are we going to close bearish or are we going to close bullish? And that will basically dictate, I think, where we will go next week. There's a lot of things that can obviously affect all the indices at the moment, namely the war in Ukraine, what's happening with inflation, etc., etc. There's a lot of stuff. So basically, any talking head can come on at any moment and tank this or pump it, either way. The Fed's been very bearish, which would typically be bullish indices. Although today is the day, obviously, we will find out what happens with non-farm as to which way they are actually going to take the US dollar, and that will obviously dictate which way these indices go as well. So at the moment, I'm just still looking for short opportunities. I get the feeling that this might be that we're just on a short pullback at the moment. So it's one of these pullbacks into the 24, next leg down, pullback 24, next leg down, 24, next leg, 24, next leg, 24, next leg. Yeah, it could well be that. But my feeling is at the moment, just looking at the spacing of these large pullbacks, I think we've got more to go before we get the next big pullback. However, we normally will get a Santa rally, which starts usually sometime in November and goes through sometimes in December. But towards the end, the last quarter, we tend to get a fairly bullish market. We've never had a bear market to really test this in like this before. So whether or not we actually get it will be another thing. But we typically do get a bull rally into the last quarter. But I think we've got one more leg down before we start. So I'm looking bearish on all the indices still. I'm not really interested in taking long trades at any time, not even scalping. So if I find I'm getting caught on the wrong side of the market, I'm not really interested at the minute. I'm just shorting it because the shorts are all working very well when they work. So yeah, so the way we are, the DAX at the moment, obviously we had a nice bearish day going yesterday. This is a 3-bar reversal, absolute textbook 3-bar reversal pattern, which is a push, a pause, and a pull. And typically from there, we will start next leg to the downside. So we will see, there's one there, look. So this is inverse of that. So it all looks bearish at the minute, but obviously we need some, at the moment we've had nothing today to give us any indication of anything, which is what you tend to expect out of non-farms day. You know, you don't get a lot of movement. So that's indices. Gold has started its looks like it might be starting its next leg down. We had a sort of 5 or 6 day push if you ignore these pause days in the middle and count them as one bullish day. We've had a very nice big push to the upside. At the moment, we've got an inside bar accumulation. So when we break that, we should be off to the next downside leg, and that will be based on US dollar strength, obviously. So looks good, gold. It's exactly where you would want it. Next leg down. Assuming we're going to continue in this trend and this isn't the peak formation low. Don't know. Don't trade gold anyway. Oil, I've already covered this one really. It's either going to drop or it's not. I've got a trailer. I think I've got a trailer on this actually. Did I put a trailer on it? Yeah, I did. So I've got a trailer on this as well. 110, so 11-point trailer. It's only a 36 ADR, so I'm trailing basically a third of an ADR. We're either going to run the highs today and go, or we're not. If we are, then very nice. Thank you very much. I'll lock in some profit. If we're not, I'm just going to get out of it for the moment. I think I've turned the EA off. Let me just check. No, I haven't. Yeah, haven't. I'll see what happens today on that. I've got the EA still running on it, which basically means if we pull back down and stop me out, I will get in on the next reversal alert. I'm not sure I actually want to do that. As I said, with oil, we are very extended. I think we're going to get a pullback. I'm just not sure how deep the pullback's going to be. But when you get something that is very, very, very bullish, as you can see, when it was really bearish, we will quite often get strong push, tiny accumulation. Yeah, we get these accumulations which just go like that before the next push. That's potentially what we're doing at the moment, and we're just going to keep pushing, which is fine. If we get a pullback, I think it's going to be a strong pullback. It's going to be like a couple of really big bars to the downside, something like that. In which case, then I'm probably not going to get a reversal alert, or I'll probably only get one maybe reversal alert to go long anyway. So I'm in two minds on it. I just don't like taking longs, as you know, when we're extended on the 4 hour. This is typically when we will drop. But if the RSI comes down and we haven't dropped, and I've been taken out, then I'm fine to get in. I just don't want to get in up here, so which is what I've done. But it's not a problem. I'm break even on it anyway. So, but oil long term, obviously, we're calling 110. 100 to 110. So this is where the market is calling oil to before Christmas. So, looking at it on a daily basis and looking at, what we normally do, 36 pips is an average range for it. We're looking at around about 116 to get up there. It's not obviously going to do that in a straight line. If it did, we'd obviously be there in next week. But over the next sort of 3 or 4 weeks, that's where I think we're going to get to on oil. So it's one of those, just keep scaling in long and taking advantage of every push, scaling long and take advantage of the push, scaling long. Exactly what we did previously in here. Yeah. So in here, I made 15% over a couple of weeks. It's the same process, except what I was expecting to happen didn't happen. I just need to make sure I position myself a little bit more conservatively than I did when I started positioning on that drop. I got in far too hard, got out down here, and obviously, the rest. So yeah. So looking long on oil. Looking at what's Bitcoin up to, just out of interest. Still nothing, dead. So running through all the pairs quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on them this morning because, as I say, there's no real opportunities out there on RSI extensions, either on the hourly or the 4 hourly, and there's no point in getting into anything new ahead of non-farm payroll because it's just going to go nuts. So. Okay, so we're just sitting in this propulsion gap here. So this is potentially where we're going to find some buyers. So the danger we have this morning is you get these propulsion areas where we're like, I want to buy, and then those algorithms are selling, and you just get that all morning. And then one of them will get a little bit of an advantage and the rest of them will buy the lows up, and you just get this horrible accumulation which lasts for the whole morning, which is 85 pips. So I'm interested to see whether or not we can break this low. If we can get this low broken, we've got half a chance, but it's certainly not going very fast, is it, this morning? So Aussies, we had Aussie dollar, obviously news this week. We've had the Aussie dollar rate, which they screwed for some reason. We've had the New Zealand dollar rate, which they did very nicely on. The New Zealanders are getting on top of inflation faster than the Aussies, but the Aussie is obviously the bigger economy. Need to wait and see what the inflation figures are for the Aussie, but I'm bearish, I think, a little bit on the Aussie at the minute. So kind of business as usual on what we've had recently. It's not massively bearish, it's just not very bullish. So it's difficult to trade the Aussie at the minute. It's not really giving any opportunities, as you can see on the RSIs, to get into any positions. We had a little bit of a couple of long opportunities there. We haven't had a short opportunity since July. And that's what I've wanted to do, is to short this, but we haven't had any real strength. The pullbacks have just been very little, orderly, and you can never time anything like that. You just don't know when it's going to come. So, and I'm not interested in longing it. The longs have all worked because we're in a very, sort of range-bound situation at the moment. So, Aussie CAD is a short. Aussie Swiss is a short. Looking for opportunities to get in short. Got that one, which was lovely. So yeah, any opportunity you can get where the Swiss franc is weak, which is the only way you're ever going to get this Aussie Swiss up there, is when we get a massively weak Swiss franc. Okay, we just broke the low. Sorry, I keep flipping about, but so we've filled that propulsion gap now. We've just pushed up, tried to take that high out, and sellers are really stomping, but we've just double bottomed as well. So we're going into a bit of an accumulation move here. Just worried about them taking this high. Anyway, it is what it is. Aussie Swiss, yeah, so looking for short opportunities on that. Can't really get in. Lower time frames, you get the same opportunities as you had on the 4 hour. So no strength to the upside. These sort of drops you can't really time. So just not really any decent opportunities apart from that big spike up that we had. Aussie yen, the yens, I'm just not sure what to do with the yen at the minute. So at the moment, it's completely flatlined for me. I don't know what to do with it at all. We should be looking for yen strength, which is what I wanted to do. But since we had that intervention there, that's the intervention, we've just gone nowhere. The market hasn't got no idea what to do with the yen, which I'm not surprised about, because all we're getting is mixed messages coming out of Kuroda. So I just don't know what to do with it. So I'm not really trading this at the minute. It could go either way, but right now it's range bound. So anytime you get down to any of these lows, exactly where we are at the moment, take a little long, go up, target that propulsion gap, or if you're feeling brave, go for those highs. But right now there's no directional bias on it whatsoever. So it could go either way. And this will move on non-farm this afternoon. The yen will get moved on non-farm. So you could have a nice little push on that. Equally, it could drop and retest these lows down here, which will get you down to roughly ADR. But yeah, very, very difficult to know what to do with that one. Aussie New Zealand, I like as a long. We looked at this one yesterday. Should have taken it. Really should have taken it. I was umming and ahhing on this. I was on the verge of sticking the EA on this yesterday to go long, and I didn't do it. I should have done. I didn't have any faith in the New Zealand dollar. And the Aussie, I just, but the New Zealand's pushed very nicely and it's got in there. So this is, remember I said yesterday, if this was down here, I would be in it. It didn't quite get extended enough for me. Them's the rules and those are what I play by, and I didn't do it. So unfortunately, I didn't get it, but it's bounced very, very nicely. So I still like it long. The New Zealand economy, I think, is going to strengthen quite a lot more than the Aussie, but I don't think, because of the size of the economies, I still don't think the New Zealand is strong enough. It's still, when we talk about them getting on top of inflation faster than everybody else, they are still having massive inflation. Yeah. So because one country is doing better than another at getting on top of the situation doesn't mean they're not financially struggling and really in trouble. Yeah. With us, in the UK, we've put this new cap in place on energy, which is going to reduce our inflation estimates by around about 5%. Still going to be 13% as a worst case scenario. That's hideously bad. Yeah, our target is 2. So, even though they talk bullishly about we're doing okay compared to what it could have been, but it's still bad. So, I think the Aussie should still continue to be bullish, but I think the rate that this will gain, that we've been seeing, is going to slow down much more to this sort of thing now. So we're going to go into a little bit more of a lull, I think, a bit more range bound. So in theory, any opportunity that you get on RSI extensions, either to the upside or the downside, could be good. But I would still favour upside based on where we are and what we're doing at the minute. So at the moment, obviously, we're flatlined in 50, so not really interested in that. Aussie US short. So even though everything's going to put, the US is going to be the stronger of the bunch because the US is the biggest. So everything we should be looking to short US. The US have come out and been very, very bearish overnight. The market has not really batted an eyelid so far, but obviously that's because we're not interested in putting any money into the market until non-farms out of the way. Then they will start to move. So we could well get a bounce off of this if we get weak figures out of the US. So we'll see what happens this afternoon. But overall, I'll be looking for shorts still on this one. So range highs, if we get any RSI extensions up in the 24.72 area, I'll be looking for shorts. If you want to drop down to hourlies and look for RSI extensions, I mean, we haven't had any. But, we're in a very, very obvious range at the minute. So if we were to get a push up into there, that would be a nice little short opportunity. You're not going to get an RSI extension out of it. Just not enough strength in it. So, but yeah, shorts at the minute on that one as well. Not from where we are, obviously. CAD Swiss, Canadian dollar should strengthen with good oil movement. And we have had good news coming out of CAD. They seem to be doing pretty well as well from an inflation perspective. Still going to rise interest rates, but they seem to be getting on top of it a little bit better as well. So CAD and New Zealand are doing okay, but they're still not doing well. So, there's doing okay and there's doing well, and they're doing okay. But with the Swiss franc, any kind of strength on the Swissy, regardless of what currency it's against, will be give it a strong push and pull, which is why we get these big movements. This is all caused by the Swiss franc when these big moves happen. You can see, obviously, that's the rate announcement, which took everybody by surprise. I don't think we're going to get back up here. So looking for short opportunities whenever we get any pullbacks. Which we've had and played out beautifully. So CAD yen, I don't know, same thing, with the CAD yen. Anything with the yen at the moment, flip a coin. Just made a new low on the DAX. Lovely bearish engulfing outside bar. Very bearish move. I'm not going to add to it because if I add to it, I'm going to bring my average down to here, and then we're going to push up to there, and I'm going to get worried. So I'm not going to add to it. There's not enough strength at the moment. If we get down to the lows, I'll consider adding in a second position at these lows, and that'll give me a little bit of breathing room for a break-even average. But I want to see it actually be able to do what it says it can do on the tin. CAD yen, don't know. Swiss yen, don't know. It's all a mess at the moment. Yeah, we had the Swiss franc weakness on their rate announcement, coupled with the yen intervention at the same time, and we got this big collapse. The sellers stepped in, pushed back down again. The sellers have stepped in, pushed back down again. You'd have to say it's bearish. Which indicates a weak Swiss and a strong yen. That's the bit I don't think we're going to get, and that will only be temporary. So again, I just don't think we're going to get an awful lot of movement off of this one at the moment. We're probably going to go into a range, or potentially the Swiss franc is going to power up and do that. So I really haven't got no bias on that one at all. Euros all still short. We got lovely reaction on the euro odd up at these highs. We are just accumulating at the moment. We're going into a symmetrical triangle. So again, Australian dollar, not that strong. Euro, we know, is still weak. It's strong at the moment, but overall, nothing's changed that should really indicate that these downtrends are not going to continue long term. If you look at it on the daily, we've gone into this big wide range, but overall, we are weak euro, and we have still got a weak euro. There's all sorts of talk in the eurozone, of Italy wanting to leave the European market. We've got what's going on with Ukraine happening at the minute. We've got inflation rates going through the roof. We've got crisis on gas supply in Germany, meaning they're going to have to go into power cut mode. They can't power themselves. Nothing's going well. Eurozone's just falling apart. It's been falling apart since COVID, and it's never stopped. It's having some temporary strength at the moment, which I'll give it that, which is good. But I can't see it lasting. But this is the sort of the weaker of the currencies. You want to be trading the euro short against things like the US dollar, the Swiss franc, the Canadian dollar, and potentially the yen, and even New Zealand dollar now. So this is the weaker of the bunch. So where we are at the moment, this is a lovely looking double top bounce. Back down into somewhere like that if you played it from the highs up there, which is where we got extended. So that was a lovely reversion up there, and M5 you'd have had your entry, which was great. So that was a nice little short, but it's obviously played out. So nothing at the minute on that. Euro CAD, again, same thing, very weak. Think of the CAD against currencies like the euro as the US dollar as well. US dollar powers up, Canadian dollar tends to get dragged with it. So we're expecting this to come down. Again, this is the biggest, strongest move we've had for a while on the euro. Look what happened last time. We got above the 72. Yeah, a little bit of strength is not a sign of a currency changing direction. It's a little bit of strength. And this was into the interest rate. This rise all started going into those interest rate announcements, and then the interest rate announcements came out and the market went not really interested in that. We've got to break these highs here to get any kind of traction to the upside, and we're stalling in this balance here. So this is where the market was very happy to transact for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. We're back there. Yeah. It's price discovery. We're not interested down here. Let's try back up in here again. Not interested in there again. We're probably going to come back down. So I like this short. The short entry was up here again. So starting to weaken euro. Euro Swiss. This is the short of all shorts. I'm short on this at the minute. So lovely short. On the daily, it's just weak. The Swiss franc is a very strong currency, always is. When it powers up massively, as we know, as you can see, and when it weakens massively. Yeah, this is a positive rate increase, negative reaction, and then the market went, nah, don't be silly. So yeah, like it short. We're back up at the 72. Whenever we get to the 72 in a strong downtrend, it's worth shorting. Even if it does break it, it will struggle to break it strongly, because by the time you've got up there, it's going to come back down at some point. So lovely short. I'm short on it, but it's pulling back at the minute. So we will see on that one, but like it short. Euro pound, no idea. Steer clear of this, I think, at the minute. Until we know what's going on with the pound strength. DAX looks like it's just consolidating. We'll see. Maybe not. We are making new lows. We are looking fairly weak. We've just rejected those highs, just tried to take those highs out and got rejected. So we'll see if we can get a push back down, make a new low. Might get further movement down, but I suspect this is the opening range for the session. We'll see. I'm just keeping an eye on it. I'll keep flicking between sort of break even and 1% profit on the funded account, and I'm trying to get a runner. So forgive me if I keep flicking around. I'm paying attention to it. Euro, obviously, we've been in a very tight range, which is what we normally do with the euro pound. This was obviously the screw up with the pound, which has all been corrected, and now we're back here. So we have a slightly stronger euro than a pound, but they're both very weak at the minute. So at any point, it's going to take a talking head or an economic intervention of some description to power these up. The pound is one that's going to have theirs first. We've got Quasi announcing our fiscal policy by the end of this month. That will go one way or the other. I don't know which. I would suspect more likely it's going to be negative pound, which, because I'm not quite sure they can put anything into place to undo this stupid mini budget they've done. So I suspect we'll probably get movement to the upside on it. So I'm slightly bullish euro pound, but again, it's not something typically, this 166 ADR, forget that. Normally we're talking somewhere around about the 45 to 55 ADR for this. It's a tiny weak pair. So if you want to tie your money up in euro or pound, better to pick another pair to trade, in my opinion. So euro yen, same stance as all the others. I'm out of the euro yen. Didn't realize I just got out of it, but I have while I've been talking. So out of the euro yen on my trailer. Now we've taken me out. Obviously, that opens up the floodgates for a massive 5 ADR drop today, which is what usually happens when I get stopped out in profit. Yeah, nice little trade that. So yeah, I don't know. I took this short because we were very extended, and I was anticipating some yen strength. We got a little bit of the yen strength coming through, but not as much as I was anticipating, and I'm just unsure on it, which is why I put the trailer on. I had it as a break-even stop, but it was half a percent or something I made on it. More than that, actually, because I've taken a 0.25% loss today, so that was 0.75% profit I had on it. So, bank it ahead of the weekend, just in case something happens over the weekend. But direction-wise on this, it's difficult to tell where we're going to go. I took that one because we were up at resistance. We were extended on the 4-hour, and I had a bias long on the yen. Worst case scenario, we're going to come up and retest that area, which will give me an opportunity to get out of the position. Where we are now, I wouldn't want to be taking a short. And I wouldn't really want to necessarily be taking a long down there either. So I don't really know which way to trade the yen. So kind of sticking clear of that at the minute. Euro New Zealand, the mother of all shorts, mother of all short squeezes. This thing went nuts based on that New Zealand dollar weakness we had, and it never stopped, the New Zealand dollar weakness. It was hideously weak. But we've now got more bullish sentiment coming out of New Zealand. They've put their interest rates up by 0.5%, which was good, in line with what the market needs at a minimum at the minute to give any type of positivity on a currency. So we'll see if that's enough based on their inflation figures to power this up. If so, then we should start moving down on Euro New Zealand. So I'd be looking for short opportunities on this if you can find any. Obviously, we got extended on there, but I mean, we were extended on the 4-hour way ahead of this. We were extended on the 4-hour up here just as that squeeze started. So, tricky one to get out of that was. Say you needed to do the same thing as I am doing currently on the US, the pound US. Get into an aggressive position at the right time, get out with a large profit, and scale out of these lower positions, and just keep rinsing and repeating these aggressive ones to get rid of the lower ones. That's what aggressive drawdown control is for. But this was a nasty little squeeze, this one, over a good month. So, but yeah, volatility is massively up now. Look at the size of the price action there, and then look at what we're getting price action now. We're massively volatile. ADR's gone through the roof. So we should see some decent movement now, and that's because obviously the New Zealand dollar's woken up. So we'll see. But I like it short. Any short opportunities on that I'll be interested in. But it'll be quite hard to get into, I think, in the minute. So we'll see. Euro US dollar shorts, again, difficult to get into. This is the render's dream. Look at the pullbacks on this. straight into the 24, straight into the 24, straight into the 24, 24, 72, straight into the 24, 24, 24, 24, 72, 24, 24, 72. It's just textbook. Yeah, it's lovely. I'm not a trend trader. If I was a trend trader, I'd be loaded now because everybody trend trades the euro US dollar. So yeah, it's a beautiful trender. Just be aware at some point trends are going to stop, and when they stop, you get destroyed going the other way. So at the moment, it's still trending. I can't see any reason fundamentally why we shouldn't continue that bias, and that will continue down. So any opportunities you can find by hook or crook to get in short on this, do it. Any 4-hour RSI extensions. I took the pound US dollar. That's the reason I'm not in it, because I took the pound US short. So yeah, any extensions you get in, get out. Yeah, nice reverse alert, RSI extension. Beautiful. So yeah, any shorts on that one looking good. The pound US dollar obviously is very similar. I'm in the short on the pound US dollar, but obviously I got caught getting into my positions too fast on that, and obviously didn't get an opportunity to get out of them because the thing just went nuts. So yeah, pound US is the same story. All the pounds are weak still. So when I say weak still, long-term weak, I mean. Short-term, since that intervention from the Bank of England, very difficult. This is the reset point, as far as I'm concerned. We've had the government cock up. We've had the bank bailout. We're now back to normal trading. Continue in the same vein as we've had. Unless Kwasi comes out in the next 3 weeks and says something which is going to massively rally the market and the market can get behind, which is hugely bullish about the pound, I think we're going to continue in that direction. I can't be bullish on the pound until we get something positive coming out of the Chancellor's mouth. And the Chancellor is just not saying anything. Not even like the yen, yeah. At least the Bank of Japan are gesturing, and they're puffing their chest out and saying we're going to do something about this. Kwasi's like, so what are you going to do about this thing, Chancellor? Keep on walking, not talk to the press, not interested, not telling you, because I haven't got a plan, have I? He hasn't got a plan. They put the budget in place, didn't realise the market was going to collapse when they said that they were going to withdraw all funding that we get from tax, and then. Yeah, well, so what are you going to do about it if you're not going to pay for it by tax? Oh, well, you're going to have to borrow, aren't you? Interest rates are going up. Isn't that going to cost you 4 to 5 times more than it should do? We have had nothing come out of the government to counteract that. Therefore, why would the market be bullish on the pound? So I'm looking for shorts. I'm looking for opportunities, looking for the weakness to start, basically. So, for example, here, pound odd on the daily. We've got this control candle at the moment. Yeah. So we've had the bank intervention, which is overshot because of the weak Australian dollar. So when we break down below there, good continuation. Pound CAD. Continue to push up. We've just broken below there. So we've started to roll down. So that's good to get into shorts. Just had a reverse alert on the 4-hour. Yeah, so there's your reverse alert, possibly get a retest, and then continuation, coming back down into retest this area. Look at the pound CAD. Yeah. All we've done is we've come back to where we were before this news, and if the other currency at the time of returning to this area was weak, we've just had that extra bit of follow through. Yeah, everyone's being like, banks intervened, buy, and they keep buying, and we slip a little bit higher because of the buying pressure. And then all of a sudden everyone goes, hang on a minute, we don't want to be buying the pound because the pound is weak. They haven't come out to say anything different. So all we've done is overshoot, as far as I'm concerned. So continuation shorts. Pound Swiss has already started. Swissies jumped in faster and obviously tanked that. That's the one I traded. Pound yen, unsure. Still no idea on the yens. I'm just not trading the yen at the minute. I don't know. But this one, I would say, yeah. I mean, this is the same as the euro, and that's why I took the euro yen. If the yen is going to power up, I want to be trading the yen against something that's massively weak. So euro and pound on top of my weak list at the minute. So they're the ones I'm going to take. Pound New Zealand, strong New Zealand dollar potentially now off the back of those rates. We've had the reversal alert on the 4 hour. Again, we had the extension, beautiful M pattern, reversal with divergence, reversal alert, retest, drop. Looks beautiful for shorts, Pound New Zealand. I'm in the Pound US, too deep at the minute to get into any more pound personally, but that Pound New Zealand looks good. Just accumulating at the moment on this one. Obviously non-farm, so we're not going anywhere today. Well, until this afternoon, then we're off somewhere. Don't know where. It could be up, could be down. See what happens. But as you can see, we're just holding at the minute, holding pattern ahead of non-farm. So I'm in short on that one already. Any opportunities to get in short on this? You've had the reverse alert on the 4 hour there. Obviously, we've had decent reverse alert on the hourly off the back of this push. So push, and we're starting the profit take move now. So looking for an exit in this propulsion gap. We can get an ADR hit off of non-farm today. That's my exit strategy for that one. New Zealand dollar CAD, same on the New Zealands. Now, the New Zealand dollar CAD is obviously a short. Lovely move down on the DAX. So just broken those lows. Just going to break even stop this. So just breaking and stopped it. Just because we're approaching these lows, you know, we're an at's whisker away from the opening range low. If we are going to go into a holding pattern for the session, I'm not going to take a loss on it. I'll take a break even. If we're not going to go into a holding pattern and we are going to get the break, then happy days. But either way, I'm break even on it. Why have I got trading stop active on that? So I've just oh, that's my second position. Sorry. I'm looking at my chart. I've got I've got an entry on this here, and I've got a stop there, and I'm like looking at my settings on the Price Action Toolkit. And I'm like, I haven't got a trading stop on. It's turned off. What's going on? And I've got a second entry here, and it's the stop of that one. It just completely confused me. There's a very big rejection there, indecision. So yeah, that confused the hell out of me. So I'm going to break even stop on that. See, my stop on the funded entry is up here. So if we do go range bound, I'm actually going to be probably okay on that stop. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Yeah, don't want to. I'll let it run. Sorry, New Zealand dollar CAD. Vera, hey man, going to be completely honest, I've decided to do a sell on Aussie yen. Aussie yen, remember I'm up to New Zealand. Aussie yen at 92.80, 92.835. Yeah. You're selling at the bottom of a range. Yeah, so we're in a range at the minute. You know, the bottom of the range is going to be quite possibly there, isn't it? Possibly there. So if you're selling now, I don't know what time frame you're selling on. and what your plan is, whether you're scalping, whether you're position trading, whether you're long-term trading, whether you're investment trading for the next 12 years. I've no idea what time frame you're trading on, but likelihood is if we do go down, we're going to meet resistance support down there, aren't we? So yeah, sell it short, but you're selling it short after a big strong down move, which typically will have before the next leg of profit take. So I don't know, depends how you're trading it and what time frame. You know, I get this all the time in the Telegram group. People say, gold, should I go long or short? Don't know. How long are you holding it for? You're going to sell it when you're 70, or you're going to sell it in the next hour? Because the answer to that question is going to be very different. 1 hour time frame, yeah. So if you're selling short here on the 1 hour, you want to be targeting the lows there. But yeah, I don't know. Depends. I have no idea what your strategy is, so I can't really answer that. For me, like I said, on the yen, I have no idea. I have no clue. The Australian dollar is weak at the minute. The yen is temporarily strong, but the government and the central bank of Japan have no clue what they're doing at the minute. And there's no real directional bias on it, apart from what they said, which is we have done an intervention, and the market moved on that intervention, and then it retraced on that intervention because they didn't back it up with any further movement. So, you know, you're trading a weak currency against an unknown direction. I can't tell you. Yeah. All I can say is take your trade and it will work or it won't. So if you are taking a trade with a stop loss there or there, targeting there, take it. It's either going to work or it's not. You don't know. I don't know. No one knows. The only thing we know, as I've said many times, is it's going to do that. It's going to go through time and it's going to go up and down. No one in the entire universe can tell you when it's going to happen, where it's going to go to, or any more information than that. So you take a trade with a risk and a reward. If you're position trading, obviously you're not position trading by my rules, which is fine, but I wouldn't be looking to short it until it gets up to there. That's just my opinion. I don't really have an opinion on the yen, you know. So the yen's a mess at the minute. You kind of just got to flip a coin with it, really. I've lost a decent amount of money yesterday, and I'm looking for a good short I can do to gain a bit of my profits back. Sort of new and doing it with my dad. Okay. Have you done the Boocamp? Have you watched the Boocamp? If not, go and watch the Boocamp. If you've lost a decent amount of money yesterday and you're looking to gain a bit of your profits back, your mindset is completely wrong for trading. First of all, you shouldn't have lost a decent amount of money yesterday, and you are probably going to revenge trade today and blow your account. If you're trying to get your profits back, you should never, ever look at trying to regain your profits. Your focus on your trading is on a trade-by-trade basis. You take a trade, that trade either works or it doesn't. You take another trade, that trade either works or it doesn't. You take another trade, that either works or it doesn't. Yeah? You've got no control over whether your trades work or they don't. The market controls where price goes. You have to get in based on a set of rules. And if you lose 4 or 5 trades on the trot, that's just a cost of doing business. Yeah. You can't look for an opportunity to get that money back. The market will determine whether you get that money back or not. You've got no control over that. Yeah. If you are using a stop loss, you will get stopped out regularly. If your psychology cannot handle losing, you are better going and betting on the horses, because that's not the right way to look at it. Yeah. Losing trades are a part of business, part of doing business. Yeah, your trading business is going to have losses. Yeah, all businesses have losses. They come up with products that flop. They have periods where they spend more than they make. And that's just one of those things. Last month, I had a losing month. I haven't. I have more winning months than I have losing months, but you have losing months, and that's just what happens. You can have losing days. But yeah, go and watch the bootcamp if you haven't watched it already. It's a completely different way of trading, and it's not for everybody. But at the end of the day, if you watch the bootcamp and you get something out of it that will flick a light bulb for you, that's all you've got to do. Just keep flicking light bulbs from watching lots of different courses until you finally find something that clicks with you. But yeah, don't look for a good short. Why are you looking for a short? If you're looking for a good short, indices. But yeah, it's much easier to deal with the psychology of drawdown than the psychology of losses. Exactly. As Diana's just said, that's what the bootcamp is all about. Yeah. Position trading is all about the biggest killer, the number one killer of traders is psychology. Yeah, and the number one problem that people cannot solve is psychology. Yeah, your brain is hardwired to do X. You cannot change your brain from X to Y very easily. There's very, very few people in the world that can take 10 losses in a row and come back from it. Yeah. Every time you put a stop in the market, you are giving the market the opportunity to take your money. And 9 times out of 10, that's what it will do. 7 times out of 10, 3 times out of 10. It doesn't matter how many times out of 10. That's what it will do. And every time that happens to you, the psychology is, I've got to get that money back. Yeah. So you are instantly, and exactly what you've just said there, you are instantly chasing your losses. The only way to regain your losses is to over leverage. That's what everybody does. As you over leverage, you lose more of your money, and you lose more of your money. If you stop using a stop, yeah, and let the market just move like that, you will hit your target. Yeah. So the psychology of losing is erased. The number one problem with 99% of traders is psychology. If you remove the thing that causes the psychological barrier, you can suddenly make money in the market. That's what the bootcamp's all about. Removing the bit that makes everybody screw up. You just need to change the way that you trade, which is what the banks and institutions do. It's the same thing that the banks and institutions do. These movements here that you see going on now are the banks and institutions entering long positions, taking profit on those long positions, taking long positions, taking profit on those positions, entering short positions, taking profit on those short positions, entering long positions, taking profit on those short positions. As long as they are taking profit, the market will move up and down. Yeah. What you're trying to do, and everybody's trying to do, is when this goes down here, they go short, put a stop there, the market comes up, takes out their stop, and then goes down to their target. That psychologically blows your brain. You're like, I knew it was going to go down there, but you lost 1%. That makes you cross. When you cross, you want to get your money back. So you bet 2% on the next one. I mean, I will use the word bet there because every time you use a stop, you're gambling. That's what the market does. As soon as you understand that and you've got no control over what's going to happen next, you'll suddenly go, aha, and you'll make money. Yeah, all these positions that I've taken to make this profit, not one of these positions have had a stop. Well, some of them have. The scalps have. There's a couple of positions in there of scalps, but I've done 5% so far this month, 5% this week. But I haven't put anything in the market that gives the market an opportunity to take my money away from me. All I've done is put positions in that have the opportunity to make profit. Nothing can make me a loss because I don't allow it. I still take losses, don't forget me wrong. Yeah, I mean, look at my P&L. There's a loss, there's a loss, there's a loss, there's a loss. Yeah, I'm still taking losses, but I'm not taking losses with a stop loss. The only time I've taken a loss with a stop loss is if I'm scalping. That's not a good example, is it? Should be looking further down. There's a stop, there's a loss, look, there, yeah. I lost $211, but not because I let the market take my money. I didn't use a stop loss to let the market take that. I decided, personally, I wanted to take that loss. My terms, they take my money on my terms, not on their terms. No psychology in it for me. That was my decision to make that. The reason I made that decision to take that loss was because I'd made 278 on that trade. So I thought, well, I'll take 211 loss on that one and I'll make some money. I made money. That's the difference. Anywho, go and watch the bootcamp. It's all in there. Oh God, the adult site's back. I will finish this analysis in a sec. Pin. I keep wanting to pin that message. Pin the pawn. I've took a complete wrong approach to this, but I need to change it if I want to continue, because I get exactly what you're saying. Now it's pretty much turning trading into gambling. Yeah. Every time you use a stop loss, it's gambling. Yeah. Every time you give the market an opportunity to take your money, the market will take your money because the market has the power to take your money. Yeah. Look at this. Right? This is just textbook, absolute textbook. The market pushes up, it turns around, and it goes down below that level. Everyone goes short. Where does their stop go? There. Yeah. Where's your target? There. What's the market done? Come and taken your money. Now where's it off to? There. Exactly where you thought it was going, but not before they've taken your money. That's what the market does. Called a stop hunt. A liquidity pool. Call it what you like. Lots of different trading educators call it all sorts of different stuff. At the end of the day, it is either a stop or a limit order. It's either a position to get you out of the market or it's a position to get you into the market. It's an order. The market needs money to move. It goes and finds that money. Every time you put a stop in the market, you're giving them your money. 9 times out of 10 after they've taken your money, they will go exactly where you thought they were going to go. That's what they do. So just don't do exactly the same as you want to do. Yeah, go do exactly the same as you were doing. Just omit that bit and you'll make money. Anyway. New Zealand dollar CAD, short, obviously, at the minute. But, right, so New Zealand dollars, which is what I was going to start talking about before I got sidetracked. Not sidetracked, it's always good to get sidetracked. Questions are good. New Zealand CAD is obviously a big short, has been a big short for a while, but we've just had the rate announcement on the New Zealand dollar, which is 0.5%, which is normal. Whether or not that is enough to rally the market on the New Zealand dollar, we wait to find out. You know, we just don't know at the minute. However, the Canadian dollar is likely to strengthen up off the back of oil and off the back of US dollar strength, assuming that continues. So I still think this is a short. We've had the reversal alert, and we've retested that. We've pushed up, made a new high. So market structure now is potentially long. So if we are going to continue the bullish market structure on this, we should push up and make a new high. But if you look at where we are in the grand scheme of things, all we're doing at the moment is creating a flag. So potentially, yeah, we might get some more strength on this temporarily, but the New Zealand dollar isn't, I don't think, going to be long-term strong enough to beat the Canadian dollar. So I'll be looking for short opportunities when we get extensions and obviously taking those. So looking for short opportunities on New Zealand CAD. Hourly as well, you know, you can see how, you know, we've got this strength coming through, but really compared to what we're getting when we're in a bear run on this, it's very weak. Yeah, we're just making these new highs at the minute. We're double bottoming, just about make new highs, you know, just about make new highs. So it's not, there's no real strength. We're not doing, you know, that. We're not accumulating and pushing. We're not accumulating and pushing. We're being held down. So I like it as a short. There was an opportunity. Yeah, it was yesterday's move to the upside to get in short. It was a really Unlikely, because we just about got extended on the hourly, and those are the ones I really don't like taking. We just about get there, but that worked out beautifully yesterday as a short. So I like that as a short still. New Zealand Swiss is still a short. Swiss franc will always power up and beat everything. Oh, Christ, Dax, what are you doing? Break even stopped. Annoying. So yeah, that was the reversal. I'm just getting out of my how long have we got on this candle? 2.5 minutes. Yeah, I'm getting out. I'm just closing my prop firm one. Dollar's moving, is it? That's probably why we're pushing up on the indices. Yeah, all the indices pushing up. So yeah, New Zealand dollar Swiss shorts, looking for short opportunities. Hourly RSI extensions on this, 4-hour RSI extensions as well. So looking for short opportunities on this one. Nice M pattern reversal there. But again, we've got a fairly strong New Zealand dollar at the minute. It all depends on the Swissy, this one, because when the Swissy powers up, it's going to smash everything. So next leg on the Swiss franc, we'll see some downward movement on this, I think, but I like it where it is. Where it was yesterday. But don't know at the moment. It's just not in the right spot. I want it up here, really. Anywhere up here. We're looking for shorts. So if we can get up into these propulsion gaps here, anywhere up into there, that would be lovely if we can get up there. I don't think we will. New Zealand dollar yen, again, don't know. Yen, just leaving the yen alone at the minute. New Zealand dollar US dollar shorts, but not at the moment because we've got non-farm payroll coming out. So US dollar, that doesn't look like the US dollar strengthening. That's not strength. US dollar moving, David said, not strengthening, moving. Yeah, US dollar's moving to the downside. Ahead of non-farm payroll, especially with the US dollar, you want to look for where the market is moving to. So where we are at the moment, obviously they've just taken out the Asian lows, pushed back up, and now they've just taken everybody's stop. So again, look at this. Yeah, all the 5-minute traders, what they've done is they've seen that move there. They've gone long, put their stop there, and now they've just come down and taken that stop out as well. Yeah. So if you're trying to get in long on the US dollar CAD today, you've been cut twice. Death by 1,000 cuts. I like it short. I like it long, US dollar CAD. But at the moment, I'm looking for a decent pullback on it. So if we can get movement down here today, I will possibly look at taking US dollar CAD as a long. But not from an RSI extension. It's very difficult. I don't think we're going to be able to get extended on the RSI on the 4-hour. So I'm kind of looking for a 24 bounce play on this. And if that doesn't hold, obviously the 72 will hold. It will hold somewhere around here. So I'm looking for long opportunities. I don't want to get in ahead of non-farm payroll. But yeah, like it long still. It's a little bit weak at the minute. We've got a bit of weakness going on. There's nowhere really for them to come and take liquidity today. The liquidity's down there at 150 ADR. So 150 ADR to the downside today, that would be a lovely long if it gets down there. It's almost worth putting a pending order down there. Obviously, high of the week, last week, is the target to the upside. So everybody that's shorted in the last week is sitting with their stops up there. Everybody that's longed it so far this week after the midweek reversal, their liquidity's down there. So we're there at the moment. Non-farm will do one or both of those today. Depends what they want to do. I doubt we're going to reach for those. They're too far away to reach for ahead of non-farm payroll. So US dollar Swiss, same thing. Yeah, all the liquidity. There's a lot sitting under here, but there's also obviously a lot sitting at ADR. So where we are today, they're definitely reach for that. So really easy. It's prime setup for non-farm payroll. This reach to the upside is pretty much an ADR. Reach to the downside is an ADR. Really easy to manipulate that. They've got plenty of money in the bank to just whack a double-ended stop hunting today. So we'll see. But the overall bias is long. We've had positive news off of PMIs and non-farm employment on Wednesday. So if we get any kind of green figures coming out today, I suspect that we will continue a long move on the US dollar. If we get green figures coming out and they push to the downside, you want to be longing it, because the push to the downside is a fake move. So again, if you stuck a limit order there, you've got a very good chance of getting a nice profit off of that. In fact, I might try and play that. And US dollar yen, again, no clue. US dollar yen is just an absolute mess. Got really easy liquidity to hunt on this one as well. Is that daily level? So we're in a control candle at the moment, obviously in here. So until we break out of this, in fact, we've just broken that high. So that candle there was a control candle within a control candle. Some people call these mother bars, whatever you want to call them, but it's a big bar where we haven't broken out of yet, so we're in accumulation. So, yesterday, a lot of people will have gone long yesterday. Where's their stop? There. So if we get any kind of negative move today off of non-farm payroll, I suspect we're going to run to the hills with it if it gets down there. So that's kind of what I would expect them to do today. But we'll see. So this low here is where the liquidity will be sitting, because we broke the daily highs. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, US dollars, I still like them long. US dollar yen obviously is very difficult at the minute, but US dollar Swiss and US dollar CAD I like long. US dollar CAD, the nicest of the bunch. US dollar Swiss is just a pain in the backside, price action wise. Just no idea where the hell this thing's going. It's all over the gap and that. Just no idea. But obviously it will be a strength move. I can't believe you're doing this to me, Dex. So we've still got 20 seconds left, but bearish engulfing going in. I've just stopped out of my trade there with a tiny loss on the proper account. It's going to go bearish. Oh, I didn't look. So total indecision. I just don't bother with this morning. It's just going to be a nightmare. You're not going to break out of this area, and if you try and get into any type of trade in this, you're just going to get chopped around. So I'd just ignore it today. It'll be a pain in the backside. Right, that's all I've got for you this morning. I'll be back on at 1:20. We'll watch non-farm payroll. I may have a crack at scalping it today as well. Obviously, I will see where we get to. So when I say scalping the news, what I'm meaning by scalping the news is waiting for the news to come out, seeing where it goes, and then fading it, or continuing the once the fade has happened. So, news trading, what most people think of news trading is getting in before the news and trying to guess the direction, which is obviously, it will work sometimes, and it's just a red or black trade, isn't it? The real skill in news trading is anticipating what their move is going to be, and then jumping on after they've done that move. So thinking like a bank. Where's the bank going to take this to, and why is the bank going to take it there? two very obvious liquidity pools sitting here at the moment. And they're both not far away from an ADR away on US dollar CAD. And obviously you got that level there as well, potentially, which they might come and grab. So, you know, that is a good trade. That is a good trade. That is also a good trade. So that's what you need to do when there's news coming out. When it gets to A, what am I going to do? And you might be totally wrong. Yeah, it might get down to here and you'll long it and it'll come down to here. And that's where it bounces from. But if you've got a bias in the market when you get into these positions, yeah, if you've got a bias long and you get into a position down here and it doesn't work out, get into a position down here, bring your average down and get out when it moves up there. Again, you can scalp it, you can do what you like with it, obviously with news, but plan where it's going to go. Where do you think the news is going to go? And have a plan A and a plan B on news. If it gets up to there, I'm going to short it. If it gets down to there, I'm going to long it. If I'm going to short it up there, I'm going to use a stop. If I'm going to long it down here, I might not use a stop because I think we'll probably get some kind of bounce to the upside because my overall bias is bullish. Anywho, that's what I'll do. But yeah, I'll come back on at 20 past 1 because news is at 1:30. And then we'll see what happens with that one. We've also got the CAD news as well. So US dollar CAD's a really nice one to trade because you're going to get double the volatility on it. So if we get negative CAD news and positive US news, you know, we might not even get a move that we could get in. It might just go and that's it. You ain't got a chance. Won't get in on it, but we'll see. So lots of movement this afternoon. That's it for me for this morning. So I'm not looking to get into anything new ahead of non-farm. There's nothing extended anyway. So there's nothing even extended on the 14 RSIs. It's that dead. I'm out with 0.5% at the minute, and I'm just babysitting the pound US. Oil's not gone anywhere. Oops. Oil's just mucking about. Euro Swiss is just mucking about. And the pound US is just annoying me. But it's still mucking about. Right. Tis Diamond. I will see you guys 1:20 if you're around. If not, I'll be back Monday, same time, 7:50. We'll go through the aftermath of non-farm payroll and obviously have a look at the week ahead. I don't think there's much happening. Bank holiday Monday. Big bank holiday Monday. So we're doing a live room on Monday. I certainly won't be trading, so I guess I might as well come on and do an analysis. We're going to have a busy old day on Tuesday because obviously all the order executions that don't happen on Monday are going to happen on Tuesday, so it's going to be a big day Tuesday. We're not going to get any opportunities to get into anything on Monday because nothing will have moved. Unless non-farm comes out as massively unpredictable. We've got inflation figures for the US next week as well, and retail. So big week for the US next week. And FOMC as well. Christ, yeah. Wow, that's going to be a big one. So Monday we've got bank holiday. Nothing's going to move on Monday. Or it's all going to slip like mad because the Frankfurt and the London sessions will just rip the yen and the US and the CAD apart. Tuesday, they'll undo the whole lot. And then from Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, it's all about US dollar. We've got FOMC, we've got CPI and retail. So big week next week. And we've got PPI as well. Big week for the US dollar next week. So yeah, any movement we see off of non-farm today may well just be positioning them ahead of what they're actually going to intend to do next week. So be interesting one this afternoon. All right. So yeah, I'll be back at 1:30, 1:20, just before the news comes out, and we'll have a look at where we are. And yeah, anything you need, come in the Telegram group. Other than that, I'll see you either this afternoon or Monday. Have a good one.